All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again to step in the ring with the greatest tag team in podcast history. Just Freaking Wrestling, the JFW podcast, hosted by Travesty.
I'm Dizzle J.
And tonight's show is really we're not centered around one thing. It's actually a bunch of different things that happened even over just the last week alone in WWE pretty much.
I mean, there's all kinds of rumors going around about everything.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things is they finally announced the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame, which is completely surprising to me because, like we talked about, that if The Undertaker was going to go into the Hall of Fame, he would be the first one announced.
I always thought he'd be the last one announced because best for last.
Oh, that's right. You did mention that. I think I was the one who said that. Yeah, because I was the one that said if he was to go in, he'd be the first one announced at the 25th anniversary of Raw. That's happening the 22nd. This is the 22nd, right? It's this coming Monday.
Next week, yeah.
2 days from now.
2 days, yeah.
Super excited to see that show. And we're going to dive into that show a little bit later. But, yeah, I mean, it was announced, I think it was Monday morning. The notifications and everything went out saying Goldberg. Yeah.
Goldberg.
But, yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. He is the first inductee.
Who inducts him?
You know, I was thinking about that. Like, if you had to pick one person, who would be that guy to put him in? And from the articles I read, the top person who's mentioned is Paul Heyman.
Really?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Sting or DDP.
I would think one of those guys, too. I mean,
Nash.
I would think, definitely someone from WCW, maybe even Eric Bischoff. Because Bischoff was the one who created the Goldberg character.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I always thought it would definitely be a WCW guy, you know,
and to make more sense.
Yeah, and it's more logical. It makes more sense. Eric Bischoff's the one who created the guy. Kevin Nash is the one that broke the streak.
Right.
You know, he had a lot of memories, a lot of feuds and matches and stuff with Sting, with DDP. So WCW would seem like the most logical. Now, another rumor I heard, which I don't put a lot of credibility in, is his son doing an induction speech for him.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's not going to be doing it.
Who's that?
Bret Hart.
Not Bret Hart. Definitely not Bret Hart. Definitely not Bret Hart. I would love to see Bret Hart do it, though.
Oh, my God.
Because I guarantee he'll throw a little jab in there about him ending his career.
Kicking him wrong.
Right?
That's not funny.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was an article showing that before the announcement of the induction, New Japan was interested in signing him.
Goldberg? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was done.
New Japan looked at it as if they were able to sign him, it would be a draw to help promote them coming over to the States.
I could see that.
So and I don't know if now with him going into the Hall of Fame, if they're going to completely call that idea a wash. I don't see him really becoming part of New Japan anyways.
I could see him being a face for the U.S., like a U.S. ambassador for New Japan.
See, I don't even see that. I mean, even if New Japan put on shows just in the States, and he just wrestled here in the United States, because there's no way he'd ever go to Japan.
No, I don't think so.
With him being the family man he is now, I definitely never see him going to Japan unless his family went with and he went for a couple weeks or something like that. Then yeah, maybe. But I think he's so set on just being a WWE guy that. The idea maybe New Japan isn't really there for him.
But New Japan, they do have a lot of older wrestlers on their roster that do get a lot of time to wrestle on TV, and decently pretty good. How they have such longevity in New Japan Pro Wrestling is beyond me. I don't know how much New Japan you've watched, but it's pretty brutal on that. They're really hard hitting.
Yeah, I keep saying it. I think I say it every time we talk about New Japan. Is I need to get more into it. It's just if it's not able to be recorded off TV, it's very rare if I watch.
I forget what channel it's on. I know I have it. I don't know if you would have it.
Isn't it? No, that's Ring of Honor. It's on that Fight app or whatever the hell that is.
App, yeah.
Okay. I'll have to double check for it. Because as of right now, a lot of my focus has been on the WWE, especially, for the month of January with everything going on with, the Royal Rumble coming up, the signings and everything, and just what they've been doing on the shows the last few weeks. It has actually been pretty exciting, kind of kind of dorky in some ways, but pretty exciting. I don't understand the whole storyline they had with Braun Strowman being fired.
The Braun Strowman thing really threw me for a loop. Other than I thought it was like on Braun's end, which is awesome. Because they're walking him out, and then they get to the door, and he's like, you know what? He just kicks everybody's ass. I'm not leaving until everybody catches these hands. That was probably my favorite line I've probably heard out of that man, like, ever.
Yeah. They actually, I heard that they actually made a t-shirt out of that.
Oh, they should?
I think they did, and I would love for it to end up in that wrestling club crate that eventually I hope to get.
I mean, Braun is legitimately good. A lot of people are hating on Braun because he's just a big dude, but I think he is talented in the ring.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, like, I don't think he's, like, the greatest on the mic, but he doesn't need to be.
No, he's physically intimidating. You don't have to. Look at Goldberg.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go back to Goldberg. When Goldberg first got into WCW, he didn't talk a whole hell of a lot.
No.
I don't think he talked a whole hell of a lot at all.
No, it took some months for him to actually say, like, you know, anything in, like, a promo, an interview. I mean, like, even after his very first match he had with Hugh Morris, you know, Mean Gene Okerlund tried to get a word from him, like, at the end of the match, and Goldberg just walked away.
Right.
Which I think is perfect, because when you have those guys, you know, even like Brock Lesnar, he doesn't really talk much. Paul Heyman does it for him. The Undertaker, when he first came in, he really didn't talk much. He had Buddy Love or Paul Bearer doing it.
Right.
So when you have a guy like that, I mean, even it doesn't matter if it's the Attitude Era, if it's WCW, or even if it's the PG era now, or, you know, the reality era, or whatever they want to call it. You really don't need to have mic skills at this moment if you have the ability to put on a great match. And Braun does. I mean, for being a big dude, he's very quick. He's very athletic. You know, and he lets you know that every time he steps in the ring.
Like I said, he probably, if he would have been around when Big Show first came around, could you imagine those duels? Those two behemoths with all the power and all the agility that they have. Now, Big Show's at the twilight of his career, to where, he still puts on a decent match, and he did put on a decent match with Braun, but imagine what it could have been.
Yeah, I think they're very happy with the direction they're going with Braun Strowman, because it looks like, I mean, they tried doing it with the Big Show, you know, the giant Paul White, you know, however you want to reference him now, back in the 90s when he first debuted. You know, they tried to put him through this powerhouse and everything. You know, it worked for a little bit. It kind of just dwindled off, and now he became kind of a, you know, with no disrespect, kind of a gimmick. They tried doing the same thing with the Great Khali. You know, he came through like this dominant guy. I mean, like, he had like that vice grip where basically his finisher was just squeezing some dude's fucking head.
Or chopping him in the head.
Yeah. And that worked for a while too, until they realized like his in-ring capability isn't really there. He really can't move around. But Braun is different. Braun is almost kind of like the more of like the Undertaker or Kane.
Right.
Big dudes, but when they come in, they make an impact, and they make an impact over time. I mean, fucking the Undertaker's made an impact for almost 30 years. And same with Kane, you know, over 25 years of being, you know, Kane.
The guy.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see what they're doing with him. And, you know, like, a lot of credit has to go to Mark Henry, because Mark Henry was the guy that vouched for him to come to WWE.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the whole powerlifting background of both.
Really?
Yeah, so, and it's one of the good things that, you know, Mark Henry wasn't so much an in-ring competitor anymore. He was being like an ambassador or something like that, because he's the one that said, hey, let's give this guy a chance. I mean, he's a big dude. He's, you know, just like Vince McMahon expects his, you know, that's what Vince McMahon wants his champions to be. Big, meaty fucking, you know, powerhouses. And Braun Strowman's that. I mean, I haven't seen a power slam that devastating since the British Bulldog.
Right. I mean, you haven't really seen anybody use it to the effectiveness that Braun Strowman does since the Bulldog.
Yep. I mean, the closest thing you get to is the guys doing like pump handle slams and shit like that. You know,
or the world's strongest slam.
God, yeah. Even that's devastating.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, those big guys make those moves seem way more powerful than what they actually are.
Oh yeah.
So it was really cool, and then like seeing him get fired, that gimmick was kind of weird. I would have loved, like, instead of saying like, "Hey, you're fired," just them saying, "Because of your actions, you're not going to be in the match."
Right.
Because, I mean, in reality, no one's ever going to fire Braun Strowman.
Not like that.
No, because, I mean, that guy is, I mean, he's a very, very important, like, cog in, like, the machine. You know, they need him. They need guys like The Miz, you know, Finn Balor and all them on Raw to keep, you know, the excitement of the show going. So I wouldn't have so much said, hey, you're fired, because no one's going to believe that. Even though kayfabe is dead in WWE and people are looking for more realism, no one's going to really believe you're going to fire Braun Strowman.
And let's be legitimate about it. If you're going to fire him and he is the beast or the monster among men, he's just going to grab your head and squish you.
Exactly. I think it would have been a lot better if they just went with the storyline. Hey, listen, you know, you're suspended. You're not going to make the, you know, pay-per-view. That, I think, would have been fine. That would have been better than saying, hey, you're fired, because that's more believable. Like, listen, you tore down part of the set. You injured Kane. You injured Brock Lesnar. You know, you know, there has to be actions. There has to be consequences to your actions. So,
you should have pulled you out of the triple threat and then found his way into the Royal Rumble and then won the Royal Rumble and still face Brock one-on-one.
See, that would have been awesome, too.
Yeah. It would have been like the giant fuck you, too.
Or if he won the Royal Rumble and the main event was after Royal Rumble and he just decides he wants his, like, number one contendership now rather than wait for WrestleMania
right.
and then win the title, because that'll show his dominance, you know, to win the Royal Rumble and win the title in the same exact night. Man. You know, other than the Royal Rumble where the title is on the line and, like, you know, when Triple H won it or when Ric Flair won it, no one else has won the Royal Rumble and the championship in the same night, let alone ever did it in two separate matches. I think that would have been great to see for this guy to show how powerful he truly is. So, but they did the storyline the way they did it. I love the way he just kind of destroyed the back. My favorite part in I don't know if you remember this certain part, but when he after he chokeslammed Kurt Hawkins through the table, and the waiter was sitting with the cake guy, he just grabbed a piece of cake, ate it, and just walked away.
Yeah,
one of my favorite parts.
That guy looked like he's just pissing his pants. Too.
Oh yeah, I was hoping he'd like maybe show a little puddle or something like that, right. You know, or when he flipped the semi truck. Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I would have loved to have him flip the entire trailer.
Yeah, well, that's a $10 million flip.
They call it $10 million. I want to see how.
I'm sure they got insurance,
right? Yeah, you know, like we all know that's not the real what the fuck did they call it? Production truck. But it would have been pretty impressive to see him flip that too. And I mean, the trailer, I mean, flipping the tractor itself is impressive because of how heavy that thing is. But I think it would have been pretty cool to see him flip the trailer and saying, like, oh, there's still people in it and shit like that. But I guess if he did that, then the production would kind of end.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be cool?
Could you imagine flipping the truck and all of a sudden screen cuts black?
Yeah. It would have been awesome. That's how they ended Raw.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Right? You know, like, I mean, obviously you wait till the end of the 3 hours and he just flips it and just cuts out and that's the end of the show. So you bring it over to next week. Right?
That would have been cool. That'd have been real cool.
But it was a pretty cool segment. He launched Michael Cole off the entrance stage. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Raw, hopefully you guys got it on your DVRs or whatever the fuck AT&T and Dish call it. Is it called DVRs for them still?
I believe everybody calls it a DVR.
Is it called DVR?
Yeah.
So TiVo? Is TiVo still a thing?
I don't even think TiVo. No. I think TiVo was his own entity.
All right. Well, if you didn't see it, you know, I'm sure it's on the WWE Network, which you could easily find for just $9.99 a month.
$9.99 a month.
Or it's on YouTube. You'll be able to find it if you didn't get a chance to watch it. And the other thing you need to check out that was on Raw that completely blew me away for doing it is the curb stomp is back.
Oh, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to break out the curb stomp, let alone on Finn Balor. But then you have to question about bringing it back on the certain day that they brought it back on, which was Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
That's questionable.
That's a little questionable.
That's definitely questionable.
I mean, and what was the deciding factor of legalizing that move again?
I don't know. I mean, I know the biggest thing that they try to look for is concussions. They try to do everything they can to alleviate that situation, which was also kind of weird when I was thinking about it after watching the curb stomp. Because, like I said, on Tuesday following Smackdown, they did the top 25 moments of Raw, and they had the match on there with Rock versus Mick Foley, for the title. I can't remember what number it was, but that is definitely, I know that's on the WWE Network because I was going to watch that before I saw that it recorded on my DVR. But the chair shot that Stone Cold gave to The Rock during that match, they cut out.
Really?
So I don't think they want to show even chair shots to the head anymore on certain things. So now I don't know, I don't know if they cut it out on live TV because I don't know what it looks like on the WWE Network. Because like I said, I only watched 25 and 24 on the WWE Network, and so I'm just gonna go to bed. I'll watch this later. And then I saw it on, saw that it was aired on USA. So maybe they removed it from the live TV screening or the live TV showing. But I don't know what it looks like on WWE Network. But yeah, you see Stone Cold going for the chair shot. You hear the chair shot, but the camera's cut away to something else.
Interesting.
So to think that how they tried to avoid, concussions and everything to bring back,
right.
that, I mean, that's almost like bringing back the punt for Randy Orton.
See, I always liked the punt. I thought that was
mm-hmm.
If you're going to finish somebody off, that was the way to do it for me. It was so brutal. But someone went out after getting it done. I forget who it was. But after he got hurt, that's when they eliminated the punt.
Oh crap! Who was it?
I think it was it Rhodes?
I don't know. It wasn't like a top person. It wasn't like Vince or Sean or anything like that. I think it might have been DiBiase.
Was it DiBiase? I thought it was DiBiase or Cody.
Gio. I'm asking for your help here again, man. If you know who was legitimately hurt during the punt, let me know. Because I'm gonna say it's DiBiase. It's one of Legacy. But I mean, no, it was really cool to see it again. I'm glad they brought it back because it was a unique move that Seth Rollins could use. Because I didn't like him using the pedigree.
I like the pedigree, but only for Triple H. I feel like it was his. I don't know if he created the move or whatever the case may be, but I don't like when they share finishers.
No.
I love, don't get me wrong. I know the Stone Cold Stunner and the RKO, but you're talking that each one of them has their own spin on it.
Yeah. I mean, they're utilized by many different wrestlers, right. But it's different.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, but the pedigree, you rarely see the pedigree be used by anyone else.
Right. And then that knee strike that he was using.
I think they called it the ripcord.
That thing seemed a little more dangerous than the curb stomp, really.
See, I see it as being more tame. It's definitely an effective move, but I don't see it being as aggressive as forcing someone's face straight down to the mat.
Or a concrete brick.
Yeah. But it's weird that, now, when I first saw it, in my mind, I thought it was kind of like Seth and Finn kind of going into business for themselves. Like, hey, listen, let's end this, with an impact and shit like that. And I don't know how many people saw it and got excited about it if they just saw it as being another move, not even realizing that It was banned by WWE so much it was he decided to do the pedigree in appreciation for Triple H.
Right, when he was part of the Authority.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any word on it if it's back 100%, if it was just back for that one moment or what it was. It was kind of weird at the end of the show where Finn was kind of staggering around. Now I don't know if that was legitimate, where maybe he did really get hurt or kind of dazed or whatever. But
I don't think he got hurt. I haven't heard anything from it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reports the next day, which I usually try to follow up on.
Yeah, but
especially because of the show we do.
I think if it's Seth Rollins, I think they would try to avoid and hide as much as possible.
Yeah, but I don't. In this day and age, I don't think you can hide anything like that anymore.
It just depends on who it is. I mean, if Finn Balor agreed to keep it quiet, if the trainer agreed to keep it quiet, Gallo and Anderson agreed to keep it quiet, and Seth Rollins. I mean, Seth Rollins has a history of hurting people in the ring. Sting, even Finn Balor himself,
Well, the Balor thing can be argued. Because if Balor wouldn't have put his arm out the way he did when he was landing, his shoulder never would have popped out.
Oh, yeah, but he still got hurt.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, he broke Cena's nose the one time.
Yeah. It's everything that happened could be, changed if the guy that he was facing, did something different. It's like even Sting said, he took that bump so many times. It's just he took it wrong that one time. He doesn't blame Seth Rollins for it at all, but it happened with Seth Rollins.
Right.
It's just how it is. But it's different. I think if he was a little maybe cloudy,
right,
in his head, after taking curve stomp, I don't think they'd really mention it. If he had to go for fucking CAT scans and shit,
right, yeah,
maybe then they'll mention it. But who knows? We'll see if it continues on. We'll see if they bring it back. I don't know how much single competition he's gonna have between now and whenever, holding the tag titles with Jason Jordan, which I don't understand what they're doing with Jason Jordan, because I think they're pushing him more towards being a heel now.
That's what it seems like. It seems like that he's going to have that turn. And either it's going to be, he turns on Rollins, or Rollins and Reigns finally get sick of him and just get rid of him.
Yeah.
Or Dean comes back and gets rid of him. But Dean's supposed to be out for 9 months, ain't he?
Yeah. Yeah, 6 to 9 months. I can't remember exactly what it is. He's definitely going to be out past WrestleMania. I think the summer, maybe June. I think I heard he's supposed to be back. Maybe
so
July.
He'll probably show up at SummerSlam.
I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back by SummerSlam. Yeah. SummerSlam. I can see him being back at. But I really don't know. You can't trip Finn Balor and be a face. The fans are gonna fucking hate you more than they do now. And so I don't know what their plan is for it. I don't know. If they're gonna retain their tag titles at the Royal Rumble. It's just there's something going on, and I think they're probably just gonna start building a feud between Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, because I think they had this great idea to for a tag team run with the Shield, but you can't do that without Dean Ambrose.
Right.
He was one of the most. He was the popular guy. They all became popular their own different way. I'm not gonna take any credit or anything away from any of them, but I think the one who shined the most and got more over with the fans had to be Dean.
Well, I think Dean reminds people more of a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. The kind of fuck the establishment guy. I really enjoyed him because he really looks like he's flying from the seat of his ass. Yeah, when he's in a match.
Yeah, and the thing with him is they pretty much just hey, listen, go do your thing.
Yeah.
With Seth Rollins, he became who he was because he went with the authority. And Rollins and Roman is who he is because he's being pushed by WWE. So, Dean didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. He kind of just went out and just did his own thing and shit, and that worked.
Roman now has been able to, I believe, turn the fans. If you listen to his pops now, it's not so much Roman sucks as it is, Roman or whatever the case may be, but they're getting more and more behind him, is what it feels like.
Yeah, he has. I think one of the biggest things is the Shield thing. I think with him being, part of the Shield again, it kind of brings back that old, because people loved Roman when he was in the Shield, when he wasn't being, forced upon people. He was just there. But I think also what it is people see him as he's not being constantly pushed in a title main event, or a heavyweight title, the Universal title, whatever that. He's just kind of there at the moment. And definitely I think that little run with John Cena promos and stuff really helped out too.
And the Miz's return to Raw was, that crowd, they love the Miz. I love the Miz, but
I like the Miz.
I
don't love him. There's something about his personality I enjoy seeing on the on Raw. It's just I don't know, just his in-ring stuff doesn't get over with me as much as his mic skills and stuff like that. I enjoy his promos, his talking smack, interviews. I enjoy that stuff more than I do seeing him in the ring. And I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler. It's just he has the same movesets that he had for almost 10 years. There's nothing really different. Yeah, his finisher is different, but again, it's just a fucking whatever the fuck they call it. I can't remember. Skull Crusher finale, but I can't remember the actual move called. But down the road, 20 years, whatever the fuck it is, he'd be a great manager.
Oh, I see him more being a commentator or anything else.
Yeah, oh yeah, he could definitely do that. But I'm saying if anything, he could possibly be like the next Bobby Heenan,
like
Paul
a Harley
Bear.
Race.
Yeah, he could be like that guy, what he did with Alex Riley. Kind of take him under his wing and stuff like that. But he could do that with top competitors. 10, 20 years on the road whenever he decides to stop wrestling. I don't know how many more years he has in him or how many more years he's going to want to have him because he is going to be a father, sometime this year.
Right.
So, I don't know how long his career is going to last in WWE. I'm sure that they'll keep him as long as he's getting over like he is. But yeah, 10, 20 years down the line or something like that. Even if he does leave, eventually maybe he'll come back at an older, age and just be a manager. I mean, he has the voice to do, well, not the voice, but the talking capability to do it. Yeah,
the mic skills. He's definitely got the mic skills. You're right about the in-ring. It really hasn't changed, but it hasn't gotten sloppy either.
No. God, no. It's definitely improved since he came here in ECW. And, yeah, I miss that.
I miss it.
I miss the little hand flip in the air and shit like that. I hate the whole fucking if my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut thing. I am not a 5-year-old in kindergarten. It's I fucking hate that so much,
And I truly believe that he has brought the IC title back. Because, these titles go, they just go, I don't want to say go away, but
they fade in the background.
You forget they're there.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody like The Miz or John Cena with the U.S. title, who just, this is a fucking title. This is my title. You can't take it. Blah, blah, blah. It's my title. Oh, all right. I want to watch this.
Well, thinking about that and everything, I think the biggest person who did that originally with the IC title was Jericho and the Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I don't remember much about the IC title, during the Attitude Era until, Chris Jericho did.
Jericho, Jeff Jarrett, and Chyna.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. But when you think about more, the Road Dogg had it, but, how often. I know Road Dogg more won the European title than I do the IC title. But it's just the title was just kind of there, but it was just there, as a gimmick. Chyna being the first woman IC title holder who beat fucking Jeff Jarrett in a kitchen or a good housewife match.
Something like that.
I mean, when you gimmick the titles like that, it lose legitimacy. It's like giving David Arquette the world title. Yeah. So it's but Jericho, I think, rebuilt that, the prestigiousness of that title. And then, it kind of dwindled away a little bit until The Miz got it back and made that his priority.
So I thought it came back a little bit when Rhodes had it, and then he switched back to that white belt, which I know you don't like, but I like it a lot because it's a throwback to the original.
Rhodes did a lot of good with the title too. He definitely did. When he kind of did that whole dashing Cody Rhodes and the whole face plate and everything. Yeah, I mean, when you get a wrestler who has a powerful character that can make something of it, the title could be so much more. And Rhodes did for a little bit, and then there was a lull in there for a while with, whoever the fuck had it.
Yeah, random. I mean, it's hard to think about who it was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's it's something that you just can't consistently think of, the lineage of the title. I mean, I remember Austin having it with Owen Hart, and then I have no idea what the hell happened to it until, Jeff Jarrett and Chyna had it. I know Val Venus held it for some time, but Val
Venus held it a couple of times.
Yeah. We know Goldust held it. I know he was one of the more popular IC title holders, but he really didn't do much with it other than, I think, dry humping in the fucking ring or whatever the fuck he did to it. But, that character has been weird.
I've always enjoyed the Goldust character.
I like the Goldust. I loved the Goldust character back then, even when he did his little storyline with Razor Ramon. When he had that obsession with him and shit like that. I think he fucking he gave him mouth to mouth one time and his black makeup was all over Razor's face, So I liked it. It just sucks because that character doesn't work too much in this new era.
Because why it doesn't work is because it's normal.
He has to be normal.
It's normal now to see a man.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah, it is more normal now to see a man dressed as a woman.
But he doesn't dress as a woman anymore.
Well, I know.
He doesn't. I mean, I'm saying like back.
He doesn't have the wig he used to wear.
He doesn't know.
Nothing.
But I'm saying like. I mean, like, I'm talking about the old Goldust that, you could have him wear lingerie underneath his fucking, like, wrestling attire. Or comes out dressed like a baby and, shit like that. Like, the fucking, what the hell is that fucking, move called where he low blowed the guy in the corner?
Shattered Dreams.
Yeah. He can't do that anymore. But, I mean, like, that's not the norm seen on TV anymore. Yeah, maybe that's normal now because, of all the, people need to be accepted for who they are no matter what bullshit is going on in the world. But it's like, but you don't see what the normal Goldust that we remember being on TV. Now he's just some old dude wearing a gold jumpsuit and painting his face gold and black.
Who's probably in the best shape of his life at the moment.
Oh, yeah, and that's from DDP Yoga.
See, I mean, I might have to check this DDP Yoga.
I own it. DDPyoga.com. I'm going to talk DDP. I'm going to see if he wants to sponsor us. Right? I mean, I'm losing weight.
We're underdogs just like he was.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, I'm finally losing some weight doing my dieting and everything. And I think maybe if I jump on some yoga, maybe it'll help me lose some weight more. And what's more impressive to have sponsor DDP Yoga than a 400-pound dude who ends up weighing 280 by the end of the year because of DDP Yoga, which you can buy at ddpyoga.com.
We're really good salesmen.
I know, right? I mean, like, and shit. Like, maybe, how awesome would it sound? Like, if you use promo code JFW, you save 15% or something like that, right? I mean, how awesome would that be? I'm going to get hold of DDP. I'm going to email DDP Yoga. Like, good evening, DDP. I am a fat wrestling fan.
Fat wrestling fan?
Me and my buddy, we do a podcast, and we would love to promote.
Also a fat wrestling fan.
We are... We are two fatties who love wrestling and want to get in shape. But I'm assuming DDP has to be a fan of the show. I'm sure he listens to it.
Everybody listens to it.
Fuck yeah. But no, Goldust is in tremendous shape and everything. I haven't watched too much of the mix match Facebook thing. I know it is on the DD Network that you get for just $9.99. And I kind of want to go back and look at it and kind of watch the matches and see how, like, they're all working out. The Goldust, Alicia Fox, I really want to see how they work together with their personalities.
Isn't it funny that he always gets paired with a black person?
Yes.
Booker T, R-Truth, Cedric, and now Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, I'm not trying to say anything. It's just crazy to me.
Right, just making an observation.
It's just making an observation.
Right? See, the wrestling fans see that as an observation. But the people who need safe places to go to because they're not, happy with the situations in their lives.
Have you seen the meme? You know how WWE's then, now, and forever?
Yeah.
So there's a meme that says then, and it's Goldust and Booker T. Now, it was R-Truth and Goldust, and forever was Cedric and Goldust. I was laughing my ass off. I thought that shit was hilarious.
Oh my god! I can't wait to get the emails flooding in. Like, I really appreciate Dizzle J talking about the tag team combinations of Goldust and African Americans. I'm like,
Dizzle J is a racist bastard.
Yeah. Please send me those emails because I love to read them on the air.
JFW Podcast at Yahoo.
Yeah, JFW Podcast at Yahoo.com. But. Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
All right. So moving on.
Okay, so we talked about Goldust Hall of Fame. Ricochet is officially mentioned this week. He is signed to WWE. He was seen at the Performance Center, but he's not the only one who was seen at the Performance Center this week.
No. EC3.
So I'm super excited that both these guys are coming to WWE. It's been a long time coming for Ricochet to finally come over. But of course, with his contract for Lucha Underground and with them doing pre-tapings like months in advance, right, he couldn't come over until the season finale of season 3 of Lucha Underground aired. So that finally passed. Ricochet is finally signed. He was sent to the Performance Center. We don't know where he's starting at, if he's going to be starting down in NXT or what. But from my understanding, the contract that he signed in January of this year, it's a pretty good contract. I hear it's a pretty good contract for both sides.
Really?
Yeah. So if you look at Ricochet, I guess the first question I have for you is he coming here as Ricochet?
Well, we know it's not going to be Prince Puma.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely not.
I could see it being Ricochet. Ricochet, I mean, that you're talking pretty popular name in the independent world, which we've seen as of late from WWE, that they're letting these guys keep their names. Excuse me. So I could see him coming as Ricochet. I wouldn't even know what else to call him.
You call him Trevor Mann.
Trevor Mann?
That's his real name.
Mr. Man. Mr. Man.
Yeah. The partner of Tessa Blanchard.
Oh. Tully Blanchard's daughter?
Yeah. I was hoping to get the loot crate that had her signature in it, but I did not.
She got a nice ass.
Yeah.
But
it is, you could buy the autograph separately from thatwrestlingclub.com.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one I want to try to get sponsorship. What are our sponsorships? WWE Network, thatwrestlingclub.com, and DDP Yoga.
And DDP Yoga.
I'm going to send some shit like, listen, we're not popular, but we're going to get there.
Eventually.
And wouldn't you love to be on the ground floor of this adventure?
Make us popular.
So, WWE.com actually came out with an article that says Trevor Ricochet Man joins WWE Performance. I'm assuming if they mention Ricochet, maybe he's got to be coming as Ricochet.
Right.
You can only assume. And I think that'd be fine with that. I mean, like, he was Ricochet in the Indies. He was Ricochet in New Japan. And, yeah, I mean, a lot. I'm going to say at least half of the guys that they bring over, they do end up keeping their names. You know, I mean, Finn Balor, I know his name got changed. Who was the other person whose name changed? Sami Zayn. I mean, I think
he was El Generico.
Yeah. Kevin Owens, I think, was always Kevin Owens. Steen. Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay. AJ Styles stayed the same. Anderson and Gallows stayed the same. Shinsuke Nakamura, I'm assuming, stayed the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess it's
Bobby Roode, Eric Young.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it just kind of depends on, maybe how long you're in the business, or what, or how over your character is.
I think that's what it really has to go with, is how over your character is. Like, they announce Trevor Mann, everybody's gonna be like, who the hell's Trevor Mann?
Yeah.
You can say Ricochet, or if you know him from Lucha, Prince Puma. You're gonna get a bigger pop at that point in time.
Do you think they're gonna do kind of like a backhanded mention of Prince Puma in some way?
No.
Like, he's as fast as a puma or some shit like that.
I mean, if anybody does it, I think it would be Booker T.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
I feel like Booker T sneaks those in.
I would love to see that. But there's a lot of talent in Lucha Underground that I think would work great in WWE. Like Phoenix and, all those cruiserweight kind of guys there. But EC3 is another one of those guys who we don't know if he's going to end up in NXT first or if he's going to come to the main roster.
See, and what's crazy is that he was in NXT, and then I forget if I think WWE let him go, and then TNA picked him up, and then he has transformed his EC3 character and owns his character from my readings.
Yeah, because it wasn't EC3 when he was in WWE originally.
No.
I think he was like something Bass or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But the only thing I ever remember him from is he was on a double date with Daniel Bryan and the Bella Twins.
Really?
You never saw that?
No.
Okay. So, okay, I'm going to pause this and we're going to watch it. So
that hair won't be there.
No, God, no. Thank God, But that, I mean, his character then was so entertaining, it blew my mind that they let him go.
Right. And what's funny watching that is because I never watched him on NXT before, so I can see the EC3isms there, but now he's just got that character down packed, and face or heel, and he's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were talking about earlier, I want to know if is he going to be EC3? 1, 2. If he's EC3, I want that intro from TNA.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but look it up later. I'm not going to go through it right now because I kind of did it for you down in the garage. But
yeah, it's the one that kind of sounds like an engine revving up at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like trouble.
Yeah.
Trouble.
Well, see, and that's one thing. Like, I don't think that they ever really. I think WWE enjoys having their own original
Right.
songs. I doubt that he owns whatever song it is that TNA uses. They'll probably do something similar to it. They may still keep the countdown because I know they used to do the countdown with him back when he was a heel. I don't know if they still do it now. Because like I said, I never watched any of his face run. It was mostly the heel stuff he did when he originally got here. I don't know if they would keep him being Ethan Carter III, though.
That's what he's known by, though, and that's what he's over with. And I think,
well,
if I was WWE, that's what I would go with.
Okay, so Drew McIntyre was Drew McIntyre in WWE. He left and became Drew Galloway. Now he came back as Drew McIntyre. Now, when EC3 was originally here, he was Derek Bateman. They may bring him back as Derek Bateman.
Okay, but if you look at EC3, do you think Derek Bateman or do you think EC3?
Right now, I think Derek Bateman, because that was a pretty fucking video.
Because we just watched that.
I'm going to link that video in the show notes below so you guys can watch it too. No, I think keeping him EC3 would be great. I think that's the best move for them to do.
And I mean, like I told you before, there was the rumor cancellation that he was supposed to do an indie show on the 28th, but he pulled out of that. So that's a possible Royal Rumble entrant. Ricochet could possibly be in the Royal Rumble to make his debut.
Yep.
I think this year we might see more debuts at Royal Rumble than what we have in the past couple of years.
And I definitely think there'll probably be more NXT stars coming up too that would make a good impact, not only for the men's Royal Rumble, but the women's Royal Rumble as well. Because like we mentioned...
Paige is out.
Yeah. And did you happen to see the video package I told you to watch?
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Dude. Come on. All right, anyways. But if you watch the video package, it shows every single WWE women's star, on the Raw, SmackDown, Browns, but it does not show her. Even when they show the final clip of all the women that were in the ring after Stephanie McMahon made the announcement, they cut Paige off at the very end. It stops at the other two Absolution characters.
Really?
So it doesn't even have, and that's what I want you to look at. Because just watch, I just want even to watch the final bit of that video package. It shows every single wrestler on the Raw brand in that ring, but it cuts Paige off. All you see is her hand holding up Liv Morgan's. I think it's Liv Morgan. Oh crap, I can't remember. The blonde one on Raw. I can't remember if Liv Morgan's on Raw or if she's on SmackDown.
I thought Mandy was the one on SmackDown.
Maybe. So then maybe it was Liv Morgan then. The blonde. Whichever one is the blonde on Raw. So, holding up her hand, but that's it. All you see is her fucking arm. They cut her out of everything in that video package. And that's what sucks.
I mean, she's not wrestling in it, so I can see why they did it, but...
But she's still relevant to being a wrestler. I get them cutting her out of majority of the promo package, the video package, but you don't really need to cut her out of that final shot of all of them there because, she's not going to be able to be part of the Royal Rumble, but she was the original NXT, brought up who, made an impact.
And she was isn't she the youngest female champion?
At 25 years old, I really don't know.
I think she is.
She has to be.
I think at 25, she was champion before she was 25.
Yeah, she's 25 now. So she has to be. She has to be.
She has to be.
Gotta be. I really don't know. I could look it up, but we'll get to it. But she's not going to be in it. But it opens the gate. Like I said, I think right now we have 18 women wrestlers who are set for it. That leaves us 12 openings for NXT and Legends to come back. Trish Stratus and Lita. There's rumor that Ivory may be in the Hall of Fame this year. She could come back.
There's a wide world of women out there who have been coming up. We know for sure the one that won't ever be in WWE at this point in time is Sexy Star. But Rosemary, I haven't seen her on TNA in a minute. So God only knows what she's up to.
Yeah. That's a Blanchard I'd love to see. Love to see.
Gail Kim.
Gail Kim should be in the Hall of Fame. She should definitely be in the Royal Rumble. I don't know if they give her a run in WWE. It's like, I like Mickie James, but there's really not much more for her to do in WWE because of all the newcomers that they brought up.
Right.
I get, they want to bring back some of the past, for that nostalgia feel and everything. But, I mean, there's just nothing for Mickey to do. But now Mickey's just kind of like in the background being a sidekick to Bayley, Sasha Banks, and everything to be part of like the good guys.
To me, I think Gail Kim never got what she deserved out of WWE.
No.
She was just, at that time, I there was more flash than wrestling, and Gail Kim was a wrestler.
It was a lot about glamour and stuff when she was here at that time. I mean, at that time you had like Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson. Like you had, for lack of a better phrase, eye candy for people to kind of look at. But I think also at the same time, I think she came after the whole bra and panty match era. I don't think she was ever part of that.
I don't think she was either. I think it was towards the end, but right before the whole, as women's wrestling picked up everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's when WWE started catching on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, because you remember like Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, Dawn Marie, and all them doing those matches. Which I'm not saying they're horrible matches, but I mean, like,
especially as a teenage boy.
Yeah, but it was, when you look at it, it was kind of demeaning to put these athletes in those kind of situations.
Right.
It's like putting superstars in a blindfold match. It's like you're shackling.
They did that.
They did do that. Yeah. Yeah. They put fucking sacks over their fucking head and shit. It's just like, I mean, yeah, it was probably gimmick. They could probably see the entire fucking time. But you're shackling their capability of putting on a good match to just get some humor out of it.
Right.
But next week is the 25th anniversary of Raw. So, as it looks right now, I just kind of want to go over the list of people that they do have scheduled to come in and everything, which I'm getting this from BleachReports.com. So, right now what they're looking like, and they kind of just separated into a couple groups here. The first group they had was managers, announcers, and people like that, some non-in-ring competitors. They got Brother Love, which I'm hoping to God, if The Undertaker comes out, he comes out with Brother Love. Because that would be awesome to kind of have that nostalgia.
As far as I knew, Brother Love was TNA management.
Maybe he was at one point. TNA goes through a lot of people.
This is very true.
So, Brother Love's supposed to be there. Eric Bischoff, Harvey Whippleman, Howard Finkel, which I'm assuming he's probably going to be the announcer. JR and Jim Ross are going to commentate. Coachman's going to be there. JBL, John Laurinaitis, Lillian Garcia, Teddy Long, and Terry Reynolds. Which I can't remember the last time Terry Reynolds was on WWE.
In
a while.
She got smoked a cigar?
I wish. Legends returning. We got the Bella Twins, which I don't know why you put the Bella Twins at the top of a list like that. Oh, I guess alphabetical order, right? Okay, that's what I wish they'll be on top of a Legends list. Boogeyman, the Brooklyn Brawler, Jared.
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh God. $10 says he's power slammed by Braun Strowman.
I'm not betting on that.
Jericho, Christian, DX, Dudley Boys, The Godfather, Jacqueline, Kelly, Maria Kanellis, Michelle McCool, Montel, Vontaeus Porter. Which, why would MVP be considered a legend coming back to Raw?
He was tag team champion.
He's
US champion.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good run.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. Is he not in TNA right now?
Oh.
New Age Outlaws, Ric Flair, Ron Simmons, Scott Hall, $1 Million Man, Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus, The Undertaker, William Regal.
Now, see, they originally billed coming back Ron Simmons and JBL as APA.
Yeah, they may still do it. They may. To throw out one more closer.
And I bet you the Dudley's going to the Hall of Fame this year.
There is rumor that there's rumor that they may announce him at the 25th anniversary show.
Bubba's with what's that?
Bubba Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
good job, Bubba.
For what I hear is she cheated on
some other dude.
Oh, what the fuck's his name?
I don't know. I was just happy to see the fact
he was the Motor City Machine Gun.
Oh, Alex Shelley or
No, the other one.
Chris Sabin?
Sabin. Sabin, yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Bully.
Yeah. Good job, Bully Ray. People are thinking Hulk Hogan will be there. I think he's still having an issue with WWE. Kevin Nash is going to be there, but after his knee replacement, he don't think he's going to be there. But he did mention in his Twitter that he'll see everyone at Mania, so we can expect him to see him at WrestleMania. It sucks that we don't see the Click, but at the same time...
Yeah, DX.
Yeah, but Edge isn't listed. I thought that was kind of interesting, because I would love to see a Christian Edge 3-second pose.
3-second pose.
Yeah.
Now.
So, a couple of wrestlers haven't been mentioned, but I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be some surprises that aren't listed. Again, this isn't a WWE list. This is a Bleacher Report list. So there could be more. This year...
yeah, because that didn't include The Undertaker or... Who else? I can imagine Sting might show up.
Yeah.
But he was never really...
Sting I can see being there. I don't know. Maybe I should won't have like WCW guys there. I mean, like, The Rock's not mentioned. Steve Austin's not mentioned.
Well, I said they've been advertising Steve Austin on
there's,
TV.
yeah, there's got to be more. There has to be more, obviously. They mentioned something about the Revival here. Let's see here. As to what all the legends might be up to on Raw, one would have to assume the Revival will get a violent visit from a familiar face or two. The Hardy and Tag Team claims that despite whoever shows up at Raw 25, this was their universe.
Did you saw this promo, right? From the Revival?
If I saw it, I don't remember it.
Where they actually called themselves wrestlers and not sports entertainers. Live on the mic.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Maybe. Yeah, I love the Revival.
I like the Revival so much, man.
Yeah.
And they got War Machines coming too.
I heard War Machine's coming.
War Machine's coming.
So it's just been so far. It's been a good month for WWE. January is really like kind of.
And James Storm, he's on the market now too.
Yeah,
it's because he lost a very Okay, so they had a loser leaves Impact Wrestling match between him and this old guy who runs a mixed martial arts team. If I was James Storm, I would be pissed off about the way I had to go out. Because granted it took 6 dudes to take him out. Mm-hmm. And a double beer bottle shot to the head before he was actually pinned. I hate when guys lose to people that they would not lose to. You know what I mean? Like when Cena lost to the Britney Spears' ex-husband.
Oh, Kevin Federline?
Yeah.
Damn. See that? I know K-Fed, but I don't know Sakura Sabin. I'm such a wrestling fan. Holy shit.
You're fired.
You're fired. Yeah, I just want to look real quick and see what championships he did hold in TNA. Holy shit,
all of
them.
them.
A lot. How many times was See, that's the thing that I would find more insulting is the fact that he was only the heavyweight champion once.
Yeah, and it was very brief.
Yeah, but I mean, like looking at this stuff, I mean, like when was the last time he held like a title there? TNA World Beer Drinking Champion.
Well, sometimes they made their own titles.
Yeah, TNA. Now, see, when you look at it, like he held the tag team title 14 times.
Right.
Oh, yeah, 14 times. But then, like, let's see here. Tag Team Championship Series, World Cup, Tag Team of the Year with Chris Harris in 2003, 2004.
That's when they were America. That's when he was
America's Most Wanted. Yeah. So, I mean, like, he had such a great run in TNA, but the fact that you only gave him the championship once is kind of like, it shows you don't trust him.
It's not that, I don't think that they didn't trust him. I think he was just the workhorse. Kind of like, oh shit, who's that guy from ECW? Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer, yeah.
Tommy Dreamer never wanted to be champion. He was always the guy they gave it to when they didn't know who to give it to.
Listen to this nickname. The creek swimming, moonshine sipping, beer drinking, deer skin, and Johnny Cash listening SOB of Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
That is my favorite nickname I've ever heard of anyone. That's definitely better than the Bearded Outlaw. But no, I hope to see him. I hope he's in the Royal Rumble. He was at TNA taping, a while back. I guess something happened and they couldn't make an agreement on the contract or whatever. Maybe TNA offered more money to bring him back. Whatever the case may be, he's 40-year-old right now. I mean, I don't know how much of a run he would get in WWE, but I think maybe he'll definitely be in NXT for a while. Probably down there just like Eric Young is for now. Hopefully maybe during WrestleMania or following WrestleMania, Insanity does come up. Because I think that'd be a great team to have in the WWE. But why don't we close out the show with your match of the week?
So, match of the week, I went a little far back. I got Rey Mysterio versus Tajiri on Smackdown. I believe it's in the 90s, and it's for the original WWE Cruiser Championship. It was pretty cool because Tajiri, the Buzzsaw, and younger Rey Mysterio, and it's kind of crazy because you only see the one tattoo, and now he's just like full. Mm-hmm. But I always loved the luchadors, and the cruiserweights were always more fun to watch for me. So I kind of just randomly picked two names and see what I could find. Originally, I wanted something with the Ultimate Dragon because he was also one of my favorites when I was younger. But I couldn't get the match I really wanted with him and Rey Mysterio.
I gotcha.
So it'll be posted on Monday at some time. I scheduled it. You can go back and reschedule it.
I usually do.
I get the notification.
Yeah,
it pops up. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, well, if I'm going to release the show Monday morning, why release the match of the week, Monday night? So I just put it back.
I just set it up and
I'll just adjust it. That's what we do. Because I mean, like depending on what I go on, because outside of podcasting, the real world exists,
right?
And so I mean, if I get an opportunity to get edited, I could release it on Sunday or I could release it on Monday. Next week's episode is definitely going out on Saturday because next week we're doing the Royal Rumble predictions. Because next Sunday is the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So, huge match coming up next week, guys. It's going to be released on Saturday, the 27th. We're going to do our match predictions. We're going to predict who's going to be in the Royal Rumble, both male and female Royal Rumbles.
So I think we should do our dark horse and our winner. So the one person that we would, the guy who would never win.
Yeah.
And the guy who should win. Or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, that's perfect. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna look at the final match card. Do our predictions on that. We're gonna predict what surprises we may see in the Royal Rumbles. And now we got to pluralize it because there is two of them. And yeah, absolutely. Think of the guy who we least expected and probably the most obvious. But that's all going to happen in next week's show. Huge show to talk about. And make sure you guys follow, you keep following us to find all this, information on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you got to do is search JFW Podcast or Just Freaking Wrestling. And we're right there. And if you guys have friends who are wrestling fans and they want to check out an awesome wrestling podcast, we are on iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. So
everywhere.
iPhone users can find us. Android users can find us. People with a laptop, when you're not watching your googly porn shit, you can find us. I mean, we're out there.
People still watch porn on their laptops?
I'm assuming there are teenagers out there who, can't get a date, but have a date. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, phone.
Yeah, but,
It's so much more inconspicuous.
Yeah, but, I'm assuming there are kids out there who are like, hey, I got a computer in my room.
These kids will never know what it's like to watch a scrambled boobie on Cinemax when you don't know the channel.
Or popping a cassette tape.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
My mom's coming.
But yeah, make sure you continue to follow us for all the exciting wrestling conversations we have. I'm not going to really call us a wrestling news podcast because we don't kind of do a weekly news thing. We do what we talk about. So
we basically bar talk about wrestling.
Exactly. Perfect scenario right there. So yeah, so make sure you continue to follow us. Let your friends know about us. Let's help the JFW world grow. Because if we do, then maybe we can get sponsors like DDP Yoga, the WWE Network, or even That Wrestling Club and stuff. Go ahead.
Don't forget about SCW. I forgot what the date was. I don't have my phone with me. But SCW has released their next card for February.
I think it's either it's February 19th or February 26th. That's no.
Oh yeah, we're way behind that thing.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next week. We'll get the date set for sure. Don't forget that I am joining thatwrestlingclub.com to get the monthly subscription to the boxes, that we are going to do unboxings. So for the time being, we're going to unbox on the podcast. I'll post pictures on the Instagram until we get everything figured out to post them. And maybe we'll do Facebook Live with them or something, you know? So it's something to kind of it'll be something different that we can do uniquely. So we're going to start doing that. It'll probably happen March, because I still got to subscribe to it, because if you're a new user, you don't subscribe by the 11th. You have to wait till next month. So February 11th, I'm going to subscribe. I'll probably get the first box at the end of February, beginning of March. We'll start doing the unboxings then.
Maybe I can find a different one, a different wrestling box, and we can join two different ones.
Yeah.
Once I get my money situation taken care of.
Yeah. Actually, I think there is one we could look at when we go to the show. I don't want to mention it yet until we figure out what to do it. But yeah, follow us on Instagram to make sure you watch the unboxings that we're going to do. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, where we kind of keep updated, and we share posts and stuff that we enjoy and everything, because we want to react with you guys. But if you don't interact with us, how are we going to be able to interact with you? If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or recommendations for the show, message us on Facebook, email us at jfwpodcast@yahoo.com, and just get in touch with us, because we're here for you as much as we need you here for us. You got anything else?
I think it's time to ring the bell in this episode.
Perfect. As always, I am Travis Steve.
I'm Dizzle J.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Just Freaking Wrestling, the JFW Podcast.
Peace.